I'd like to welcome everybody to the City Commission Study Session meeting tonight, and would like to ask everybody if you could please silence or turn off your cell phones during the meeting, and remind everybody that our meetings are televised every day on Channel 2 at 6 p.m. and midnight and available for viewing on YouTube. And we'll go ahead and kick it off with item 1 tonight, the semi-annual report from Leavenworth County Development Corporation.
Thank you. We're pleased to have Lisa Hack, the Executive Director of LCDC, here tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Mayor, City Commissioners. All righty, so are you getting it up?
Oh, it should be on there. Oh, it's right there. Is it loaded up? Can I help?
It's
Yes,
on the
please.
It's on the desktop. It looks
It's
like.
on the test. Yeah, right there.
I see LCDC up.
Oh, sorry, I was looking for my,
PDF. It's closed
just got the PDF. Thank you, Sarah, I appreciate that. Okay, and so all of you, I did try to shorten this up. I know you got a lot on your plate today. So as you know, we are a public-private nonprofit. We're funded in part by the Port Authority, by the 4 cities of Leavenworth, Lansing, Basehor, and Tonganoxie, as well as 70 private investors. We feel bringing that expertise of the public sector and the private sector is, it helps our organization move forward in a way that's unique and quickly. Okay. There we go. We are governed by a board of directors. We have 26 filled positions. I have 2 pages because all of them wouldn't fit on the same page. So we put the private sector board members on this first page. So you can see all that. At the top row, you have the executive committee. We're led by 5 executive committee members. We've got President Jeremy Greenemeyer, and that will rotate every 2 years. He's got 1 more year. After that, Brian Havian to the right of him will be the president. He's the vice president. We've got Josh Hoppus as the past president, Harlan Russell as the treasurer, and then Lauren Cause as the at-large. With this group, you've got 6 financial experts, 2 construction engineers, 5 developer realtors, 2 commercial contractors, 3 manufacturers, and 2 educators in this group. And there you have, you've got the public sector, you've got the people from each of the 4 cities, Vicki Cause from the county, Chris Donnelly from the Leavenworth County Port Authority, which just changed today, so I should be getting that switched. We now have Doug Shimke, who is the president now. And then at the bottom, you've got the ex officio members, our partners with the Chamber, Leavenworth Lansing Chamber, Basehor Chamber, the Main Street, and Fort Leavenworth. And then you have 3 staff, I should have mentioned that. Myself, Diana Dodds, our assistant director, and then of course Mary Mack, who most of you know. She's our mainstay, thank goodness. She's off this week, so it's been a rough one. So we do economic development, obviously. We have a very limited resources. We have 3 staff members. So we look for what we feel has the biggest bang for our buck. So we focus on industrial. Industrial, we feel, are the economic drivers that cause the demand for other things like retail and housing, that sort of thing. So we feel like we're going to focus on industrial. And so you can see here, these are where our project leads come from. I will look at just talking about the 2024 column. We've had 19 leads so far. 11 of those are considered prospects. As soon as I begin any type of work, data gathering, it becomes a prospect. And then if we have visits or actual locations, we record those. You can see to the right, we get those mainly from the Department of Commerce, the Regional Economic Development Organization, KCADC, and sometimes they come directly to us. That's the one, it says LCDC, that might be where they just call us directly. So project activity currently, right now, just in 2024, we've submitted the Leavenworth Business and Technology Park for 6 projects. Those are up there. Superior was for a distribution center. Project Biofarm is a life science project. Hedron is a semiconductor manufacturer. Atlas is a construction equipment manufacturer. Upcycle is a plastics recycling facility. And then EcoTrack is a lithium-ion battery service distribution, assembly, and facility. So you can see it's kind of all over the place. We did have one real estate inquiry for the Gary Carlson Park as well. And that's just in 2024 so far. How do we do that marketing? We do that through the website. We have a professional website where we have data that site selectors are looking for. We also have a labor study on our website. We have I can't think, but we're very active on social media. We do email blasts. This right here is something that we asked our marketing company, Candid, who we do contract with, to create for us. And this is an example of what we might send to over 200 realtors and site selectors all over the nation. And then we've got, what else? Mailers. We've done that before where we actually send it through the snail mail. Networking events and marketing trips. I attend a lot of events in Kansas City. Went this last month, Casey Tech Council invited me. This was something that I didn't really understand what it was, but they invited me and it was about data centers, so I went. And there I met a lady that worked for J.E. Dunn, J.E. Dunn has been building data centers for over 40 years. And so we connected and we had communication afterwards, and then I just sent her some information on the Leavenworth Business and Technology Park and asked her to keep us in mind as she's working with projects. So those kind of events that I go to, I'm just giving you an example of how we connect with those people and we see value in providing that information and developing those relationships. I went this last month on a trip to Arizona with Team Kansas. This is an organization through the state of Kansas that's designed to market to those site selectors and realtors. So we have somebody with the state of Kansas that's that are over different regions in the United States. So their West Coast person, Peter Ruiz, put together a dinner, invited a lot of site selectors, and then invited a few Kansas communities. There were 25 site selectors, and some of them were realtors as well, developers. And then there were 5 Kansas communities, including myself, and then there was the team from the state. So we had Lieutenant Governor Tolan, we had the Deputy Secretary of Business Development, Joshua Jefferson, and Peter Ruiz, the project manager for the West Coast. And so what I'll do with that information, I made connections with some of those site selectors. We traded cards. I've got their bios, and I will go ahead and email them and send that information as well and try to continue to develop those relationships. One more example is I just came back from a conference, Industrial Asset Management Council. That was a conference that basically professional development, round tables, workforce, what was I saying, not workforce, networking events. And the makeup of this group is, again, site selectors, realtors, developers, end users, and economic development organizations. And they balance it so that there are not too many of one or the other. So I developed several relationships, and I'll follow up with those and hope to go to that one again. RFI responses, real quick. Just by responding to those RFIs that I get from our Commerce and KCADC, that's also a way of marketing. Because every time I'm responding to those, I am getting our community in front of those people that are working directly with those projects. So that hopefully, even if we don't make it for one project, they'll think of us for the next one. So I do business attraction as well as the operations of the organization. Diana Dodd, our assistant director, she's responsible for our business retention expansion program. And as I always say, over 50% of a community's capital investment comes from those existing businesses that expand. So it's really important that we have a really robust BRE program, is what we call it. And Diana Dodd does that. She works with our existing businesses, specifically our manufacturers, industrial type businesses, and she'll meet with them at least annually, develop those relationships, find out if there are anything that they're struggling with, and try to connect them with resources to help them overcome barriers to growth. A perfect example is right here with Zephyr Products. They have utilized our assistance for many years, and they just spent $9 million in their expansion program, doubled their footprint. And just a few other things, as I said, with the BRE program, she's developing relationships with those existing businesses. She's helping them with state programs, and those state programs help them save money and require them to invest back into the community. And that's why we do that through expansion. And then she works very directly with those companies to help them overcome workforce problems, and a lot of times that means getting involved with the schools. She's working with the school districts, she's working with KCC currently right now to help them develop curriculum for the future so that we can improve our talent pipeline for our existing businesses. And then also any time she finds out about loans or grants that can benefit those companies, she helps connect those resources to those businesses. One of the things she started last year was our first LCDC job fair. We're going to have that again here May 10th at the Heritage Center. This time it's going to be only from 11 to 1. And so she did a survey after the last one and found out that's what seemed like what people were really wanting to do. It's free to vendors and job seekers. They do ask that vendors register with us. This is an interesting slide we put together for a presentation recently. I just thought it was kind of interesting. I just wanted to give you some examples of some local businesses. I'm not going to call them out. You might be able to guess who they are. But I just think it's important to kind of look and see what kind of value they bring to our community. This letter A, this company opened in 2005. They've expanded twice since they've been here. They started with 35 employees. They've expanded that to 200. 124 of those employees are from Leavenworth County. Initially, they received a 10-year tax abatement. They're done with that, and their 2023 property taxes were over $200,000. And that's what helps us with those services and that we all want in infrastructure. B opened in 1979, doubled its footprint, formerly employed 75 and now employs 145. And prior to their recent expansion, their property taxes were a little over $49,000, and now you can see $111,000. So that's really important to see the impact that they are having in our community. Finally, C, this is a great program that required collaboration between the Port Authority, LCDC, and the city. They opened in 2022, received a 6-year 60% tax abatement. They employed 20, and now you can see $30,375 for their property taxes. Any questions about that one?
No, it's good. Thank you.
Nice.
Again, reasoning quickly, we see those primary industries or industrial businesses. They're the ones that are bringing increasing population. They are because they're providing all those jobs, and those people need places to eat. Those people need places to buy food. They need places to live, that sort of thing. That these companies bring ancillary business. The property taxes that they bring are adding money for schools and infrastructure. I also wanted to point out that we have the Leavenworth County Port Authority as a kind of a sibling organization. They are a completely volunteer board. They have appointed members, 2 from the county, 2 from the city of Leavenworth, and 1 from each of the cities of Basehor, Lansing, and Tonganoxie. You can see Greg Cause is your appointee. And so this group of people, originally the Port Authority was designed in 1969 to encourage economic development along the river. But as that changed over time, instead of dissolving, they decided to change their efforts to encourage economic development throughout the county. And so one of the things that they can do that LCDC can't do, they can own land. So that's why they have properties in the Gary Carlson Business Park. Well, and they originally owned the entire park, and then also the Urban Hess Business Park in Tonganoxie. one of the things that the Port Authority is doing, they have an industrial site visioning committee, because although we have not filled the Leavenworth Business and Technology part yet, it could take one project that could take the entire thing, and we will not have any large parcels. And so we don't want to lose that momentum. And also because it can take a decade to develop a park, because it takes a lot of time and it takes a lot of resources. It's time to start talking about that now. So we do have that committee there at the Port Authority. You've got people from each of the 4 cities, from the county, a couple of developers, local developers, and from LCDC and the Port Authority, all working together to eventually recommend a site or sites for a future business park. It will then be up to the communities to decide if they want to move forward with developing a park. Their process has been to educate, evaluate, and then they'll recommend. They are wrapping up the education piece. That has been to bring in experts to talk about how it was done prior with the Leavenworth Business and Technology Park. They've also brought in utility partners, rail, to kind of talk about project trends and how things work, so that when this group starts to rate properties, they have that education piece already.
Sure.
And that is the end of my presentation. If you have any questions, I'll take them.
That's good
Thank you.
information.
Yeah.
I just have one question. Have
Yes.
You did a great job with the Panasonic at your meeting the other day. It was a great presentation.
Thank
They mentioned that there was businesses that support Panasonic. I know some of them were actually on site, but a lot of businesses were looking to come to Kansas who support them. Have we gotten any inquiries in Leavenworth?
I think in just what you're looking, what we see come across the desk, anything to do with manufacturing of parts of a battery, yes, we are seeing that.
Okay, good.
What we have been told is to please just stand ready, be ready to respond to those RFIs. They'll generally come through the normal ways, normal routes, KCADC, the Department of Commerce, sometimes straight to us. So we are ready. Anytime we get those, if we have a spot, we respond.
Great, thank you. Appreciate that. We're ready too.
Question I have
Yes.
regarding the job fair on May 10th.
Yes.
If anybody interested in becoming a vendor, who do they need to contact?
Us. You can contact, yes, you can contact me, you can call us, you can email, you can, there's a link on Facebook, but yes, just contact us, any way you know how to talk to us.
Great job.
Thank you, Lisa.
Cool deal.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks, Lisa.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move on to item 2, the semi-annual report from Leavenworth Public Library.
I'm more low tech,
That's all right.
Okay.
so if you could, I guess, take one and pass it down. I made sure that John has one too for the paper.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I also like having these around for myself to take notes on and things like that. So I brought some information for you tonight to share, basically to discuss a few things. As you all know, we did a strategic plan and completed that in 2022. We are pretty much wrapping up our first big year. It took us a while to get it organized, and we had some projects in the works. But this report will include all the projects that are been completed, all the projects we're working on from each of our major departments, adult programming and marketing. So there's a report for the main goal of effective communications and exceptional service and community engagement. Our assistant director, again, there's her report for exceptional service. And all of the main goals that we selected are based on community input are in blue. And then finally is the report from our youth services manager about how our children's programs and how our children's department is coordinating things based on, again, the community input that we received from our plan. The one part I thought, on the last page, I thought, just a little quick stat for you. We've been doing 1,000 books before kindergarten now for several years. And last year, in 23, kids read 11,500 books. This year, they've already read 6,100. And this program is aimed at preschoolers. It's to encourage parents and children to read together, to develop literacy skills that will serve them for a lifetime. And that's been very popular. Gets a lot of little kids in. We have developed collections like board books and other things that are specifically aimed at that group. We have developed, Tracy put together these kits. They're called STEM kits. They come with it either in a bag or in a backpack. They include specific activities, puzzles, games, and books that are, again, all designed to stimulate an interest in reading, as well as give parents a way to interact with their kids. Because a lot of research shows that when parents and kids get together to read, they build better social bonds, they build strong families, they develop skills, again, that are really going to help them. The earlier kids learn how to read, the better they perform in school. There's absolutely no doubt that is entirely true. So we're doing our best. We also send programs and programmers out to several daycares. We're always looking to increase the number of daycares that we reach, again, for the same reason. Building literacy skills in very young children is the way to go. I think it not only makes them lifelong readers, lifelong library users, they'll succeed. They'll do better in school. They'll be better prepared. They actually make, I think, better citizens when they can read and understand and develop some critical thinking skills. Next is a little graphic here that shows we produce a report for the State Library of Kansas every year. Every library in the state does it. Every library in the country does this. These reports are then sent to the U.S. Department of Education, and the U.S. Department of Education distributes grant money to each state for various needs. So this data is taken from that report for 23. And I won't hammer the numbers at you, but just I think, as you can see, the library is very healthy. No matter what, you might hear or read about libraries being a thing of the past or something that is kind of quaint and old-fashioned. That's not the case. Not only here, it's everywhere. There's been always been an interest in libraries, but especially with the burgeoning of electronic access and other things that people can do remotely. Our library is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, when you look at it that way. If you're traveling here, as long as you have an internet connection, you can borrow a book from the library. You can listen to an ebook or something like that. So this will give you a good snapshot of all of the main categories of use that I think most people are familiar with. And for the first quarter, I gave you the report here, January through March 23 compared to 24. So all those numbers are there. Again, our business is booming. We really like it. Our main theme that came out of the planning process, again, based on input from the community, people wanted to see us as a hub, as a place to go. Not only can I get books, but I can go to programs. I can use a computer. My child can go in a room and study. We can have our meetings at your library. So this is an events calendar for April and May that reflects the kind of attention and just the wealth of programs that happen at the library, that we sponsor, that the community participates in, and that are drawing more and more people to the building all the time. We have a couple coming up. The Spring Fling is April 20th. We've also determined that it's better to do all-age programs than to kind of segregate them by age, because if a family has a 3-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a grandmother, that makes it a little difficult. So our programs are really designed for whole families. And the Spring Fling will include painting a birdhouse, playing some outdoor games. There'll be master gardeners on site to answer people's questions about, what this bug is that's killing all my plants. We have a wiggle workshop that's been going on for a few years. We dropped it during COVID because nobody wanted to get in a room and jump around and do a lot of heavy breathing. But we have dozens, if hundreds of kids that come in on those Friday programs. We are collaborating with, as usual, with a lot of different agencies, K-State, the Historical Society from the Post, the Master Gardeners, Kansas Humanities. We're always looking to partner, and again, that's part of our role as a community hub, but it's a specific goal for community engagement. We want people to know that the library is a place to come and a place to work with. We collaborate with all kinds of people to do all kinds of good stuff. We're having a plant swap on May 4th. Our first one was last year, and it worked really well. So if people bring in, I have a lot of hostess plants I don't need, we'll bring them in, and We just lay them out and people take a few and leave a few. We're starting a seed library, that should be coming out in the next couple of months, which is again, something the community's really had an interest in, and it's been very successful at other libraries. So as people grow their own vegetables or flowers or whatever they might be doing in the backyard, they can share their seeds in a library, then other people can bring in theirs and just sort of a swap. You've probably heard of the little libraries where you take a book and leave a book. This is sort of the same concept, but it'll encourage people to grow things and plant things.
So that is May 4th and 5th? Plant swap is May 5th, right? May 4th.
Plant swap, the drop-off is Saturday, and then the swap
Okay.
itself, say, we have a day where everybody brings everything in, and then the next day, we open the doors and everybody comes to take what they like for their backyard gardens.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are interested in that.
Got a lot of stuff.
I was about to say, this is, yeah. So is this a new one for the library at Paris, featuring Penny Black? Is that a new,
We've done music programs for years. We started with jazz, we've had folk players, we've had an Irish singer. They're always really, really popular. We've never had kind of a funk or more like a dance band, and this will be our first. Although we did have some people who know how to swing dance at one of our jazz concerts, doing some rug cutting, but those have always been extremely popular. The music programs draw a lot of people.
yes,
So, and again, it's the idea of the community hub. The library isn't just a place where you go get a book and leave.
that's nice.
There are ways there are cultural events or educational events, all kinds of stuff. We want to be the best community resource we can across a number of fronts.
Will you be doing the Mario program again, like last year?
I don't know. That was kind of timed with the movie.
Oh, okay.
So a lot of these things, we know that there's a lot of attention being paid to this, so we'll kind of circle it with a program of our own. But I was laughing, I was talking about that earlier, so many kids showed up with the little Mario mustaches, it was,
Yeah, I felt like Mario too myself when I came with the kids.
yeah, we had hundreds of kids in costume. When we had a Harry Potter event, you swear in Hogwarts.
Yeah, that was wild.
And the first one we did was a Halloween event, or we did a Harry Potter event, we had about 80 people. So the next one was a big Halloween event, a few months later that fall, we had 400 people. Our staff was just bombed. They didn't know what to do. We didn't have enough of anything. So we learned our lesson. We planned for bigger crowds, and it seems to be successful.
That's good, it's a lot of great stuff.
Do you have very many people come to your Kansas room and use that?
Not as much as used to, I don't know. I think
I think
because of
people
the,
don't know about it. I noticed something on one of the history groups on Facebook that recommended going to the Kansas room, and I just was thinking a lot of people probably don't even know about it.
well, we get a lot of people that buy old historic houses here want the history. So we've had a lot of traffic from those people. They want to know when the house was built, who the original owners were, anything at all about the property that they've purchased here in town. And I think some of it is that a lot of genealogy now is done
Yeah, online.
census records, immigration records, all kinds of data available online. Now, we do have a unique collection here, and I think the local historical society refers people to us. So we do get the occasional, and I worked at a library that was a huge Amish and Mennonite community, and that place, because of that unique heritage, drew so many people. So, again, the big focus here seems to be historic houses and the story behind them.
Great.
Any questions?
You expect, like, I'm looking at 1,000 books before kindergarten program, and it was 74 children signed up in 2023, and you've got 10 so far. But the summertime, is that when you expect a lot more involvement from the kids and their parents? They want to come in, and gee, now that we got them home from school, we can get with them, take the kids and be with them and read, get them to read and that kind of thing. So do you see a big increase over the summer?
Generally, our circulation is highest in June and July for that factor. Parents bring hundreds of kids in to borrow books by the bagful. So that's usually kind of a spike. The nice thing is it's not only kids' books. When the parents are there, we make sure they get a card and do that. And as far as the number of kids in the preschool program can be any age all the way up to age. So some of those kids that join in 1 year are still actually in the program,
Yeah.
Because there were 3, now there are 4, now there are 5. But yeah, our children's programs, and I think most libraries will say that drives a heck of a lot of library use because of again, that connection between literature, literacy, and future success. Also gives parents something to do with their kids during the day that, in the absence of school, there's something they call the summer gap. And a lot of libraries look in their role as helping keep, kids who have been out of school since May.
Yeah.
Keep them reading, keep them thinking, keep the wheels turning so that when we go back to school in the fall, they won't be starting in reverse. So,
Good report.
okay.
Yep.
Thank you all very
Matt.
much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right, item 3 tonight, the semi-annual report from Leavenworth Lansing Chamber of Commerce.
Jen Anders here tonight.
Hello.
Hello. So I usually watch my meetings online, and this was the first time that I've actually come in here, and I have to tell you, your door outside says it's an ADA only entrance. And so I kept looking, and I was like, almost convinced with the north door that I didn't know my north and south directions. And I was calling the clerk's number, and I was texting Holly, and I'm like, how do you get in here? Because I didn't even try opening it. I just kept thinking it was the ADA only entrance, so, for the record. But, yeah, I was really worried. I was like, do I not know my north and south? I was like, surely I do. But it's just kind of funny. Does everybody have one? I have extras.
I'll send one back this way. Thank you.
I have lots, but I wanted to make sure everybody had one. Did everybody get one? Well, thank you for having me. I don't know how long it's been since the chamber has been able to come and sit in front of you all, so thank you very, very much for having me. So, good evening, Commissioners and Mayor. So the chamber has had a lot of changes. I'm sure you've noticed over the last, I think I've been here about 18 months. And it's just, we're a teeny little staff of 2, but we stand on the shoulders of all of our amazing volunteers. They've actually kept this organization just running in a really great way. So they've taken it and made things their own, programs their own, and they've just really made things go without just keep things going. So we've been really lucky to have some great volunteers, and this is a community that has just a ton of partnerships. So actually almost a quarter of our membership is civic organizations. So you'll see that we're now up to 305 members. We do have a really excellent retention rate. The challenging thing for us is we really can only look back. I'm a big data person. I like to tell a story. So we really only have good numbers to about 2000, and it's questionable at 2019. 2018, it really gets kind of sketchy. So looking back into our numbers, we don't really know why people dropped, if they dropped. There is a big drop off when we try to dig down into our numbers and find out what's going on. I think even the numbers tell a story that's not totally correct, because we dropped off about, the numbers are inflated up until about 2022, because we went through and dropped about 30-some members that had just been sitting there, keeping the numbers looking very inflated for a long time. So when I took this position, I thought we had about 350 members, and that's not accurate at all. So we've gone through and just cleaned up that membership list, most for non-payment, or just businesses were closed and still sitting in there. So it looks kind of rough when I first come on, and it also was showing a budget that was just completely inaccurate. So I think my board last year and this year, they sit in those meetings, and when I tell them our budget's is what it is or isn't what it should be, it's terrifying on their part. But our retention number looks good. Our numbers look good. We have had 93 new members just since I came on. But I think a lot that have turned over have just been pretty unhappy with the way things were. So we haven't done an active membership recruitment just yet. We're just trying to hold on to what we have, because it costs a lot more to go get a new member than it does just to keep the existing ones. But we have ramped up a lot of other things. So just my visibility in the community, for one thing. I think I've attended over 200 events personally. And actually, that might even just be our chamber events. Just our chamber events between government affairs, coffees, after hours, women's division, Operation International. We've tallied all those up through our calendar events, and we've have over 200 chamber events only. So that doesn't even count the ones that I get out into in the community and attend those after hours, during hours, all that other stuff. So if you count 18 months and how many events I'm going to, if I seem frazzled, it's because I am. But sometimes I don't know if I'm coming or going, and that's accurate. But we have a really good yin yang in our office. Lauren she's the solid in the office, dependable, there all the time, and then I'm the one that's out. So we've got a really great partnership. We've also brought on new phones, new servers, our phones. We needed to order some new phones, and they didn't even make them anymore. So we couldn't even order new phone lines when one went dead. Our server was on the fritz, so we had to get everything off onto, and put that all online. So that was a big process, getting everything finished there. We also noticed that a lot of people felt like they called the chamber and couldn't get anyone on the phone. That was a huge complaint. So we got onto Ring Central, which just puts us, if someone can't answer in the office, then it rolls to, if for some reason Lauren's on another line, then it'll roll to my phone. And if I'm not there, then it rolls to my cell phone wherever I am. So that was another thing we did to try to tackle that unanswered calls. Another thing we did is we're switching over our entire CRM because the way our membership management's been in there. For one, it's a clunkier, older system. If you look at our website, it's not pretty. And it's just kind of it's not very user-friendly. It feels very outdated. Our calendar system's kind of hard to read and stuff like that. So we're switching over to a new one that's Amazon web-based. It'll also come with an app. So when we go to Pair Day or when we have new people visiting, we can just give them a QR code and say, scan this app. And so members, they'll be able to see members by things to do, places to go, places to eat. It'll be a lot more user-friendly. And then the members can also log in and be able to post jobs, post things a lot simpler too. But the website will just look friendlier and more updated and more fresh. But that's a big undertaking. But part of that is also cleaning up all of our categories. We've opted not to use a really nice visitor's guide book like many places do because we want to support the Leavenworth Times. I've come from a town that lost its local paper, and you just don't want to lose your local paper. Yeah. So by doing we could make, a lot of chambers, that's a big non-dues revenue for them because they can charge the businesses quite a bit to have these really nice booklets and all that stuff. And plus, it would be Leavenworth, Lansing. We could probably do pretty well, especially as we extend into the rest of the county. But we've decided to stay with Leavenworth Times. We won't make any money on that, and our businesses just get charged so much less. So we're staying with them to support our local paper, and because that's what we're all about, is keeping it local. But you'll see, we also have a new printer. The website will be new. We've also been writing new bylaws, new policies, new training manuals. When we came on blind, so we really don't have anything to start with. Everything's from scratch. We didn't even have a regular picture of the logo, the Chamber of Commerce logo that was being used. So we went back in the files and we found this was the old original logo. We loved it. So we just kind of made it dual colored and sent it off to Kurt Guilford at Advantage Printing, and he cleaned it up for us, and we really love that. We've brought on a digital gift card program for people that want something instant. I've attended 6 different conferences. Actually, I've got one coming up, so that should say 5. We have upped all of to increase our website traffic and hits. We've put every event in the county that we can find on our website, so that way all different people are driving to our website and looking for things to do, and we push that out at Pair Day. So we're really trying to get people to look at our membership. So they don't have to be a member to have an event on our calendar, but that way they see our members' events and they looked at our member directory, and then that way they look at our members. You can read all the other statistics. I don't want to just read it to you, but we've also really ramped up our government affairs. This year was a really, really busy year in the legislature. So we supported, and I think it was like 19. I keep saying 19, but it ended up overall it came to about 24 letters of support or things that we didn't want to support for the state and city and county level. So all kinds of things that we've been doing, but it's been a busy couple.
You're doing a great job. We're very fortunate to have you in this position and taking the reins, and I know it was difficult to come in.
Well,
The way things have kind of fallen down,
well,
to say the least.
I think we're lucky. I'm lucky that I have Lauren. Lauren is amazing. So it takes a great team and great volunteers. The board is fantastic,
And your
fantastic
red
people.
coats, they were almost non-existent, the
Yeah.
red coats.
The red, yeah, that's all Troy Scully. He's built that up.
That's great.
He's so much fun. We've just got great people.
Well, and you make
Great people.
everything fun too, and that's why people get involved in it, which is really good.
We might have fun with the leprechauns, but we have fun people everywhere. The leprechauns have been fun. We have a lot of great people. This community's full of it.
So you're live. Why should businesses join the chambers and what are the benefits?
There's so many benefits, but the biggest one is that we're out advocating for them so they don't have to be doing things.
Yeah.
When they're busy working, when they're busy doing things, we're keeping up on everything in their absence. So they don't have to be present. The networking events, those are all just a offshoot benefit, you know? They think they have to come to things, they think they have to be at everything, but they don't. They can be, and that's always a great thing, but we're looking out for their bottom line so they don't have to. And I think that's kind of the benefit when they get that 1-2 with us and Main Street. Main Street's there to do a lot of in-person things, and we love Main Street. We partner with Main Street all the time, and I'm very excited about Haley, so I think she's going to be fantastic. But I think we really have a lot to offer with both organizations, and so, I'm looking forward to what we can do together too. So.
That's great,
Yeah.
great job. I'm about to say you've been doing great work. Had to hear nothing but, great responses from the businesses, and they are happy to be a part. So thank you for your leadership and what you're doing as well.
Well, in the government affairs too, for a while there was like no advocacy at all for our local businesses, so that's been really good for.
Ted and Kelly and Jeanette are just, they're on it. They're on it. And we feel bad, there's, on the 27th, Lieutenant Governor Toland is coming, and we had it on our calendar, we were putting it out in our emails, but he doesn't commit more than 30 days out because of his schedule, he doesn't want to cancel. So while we were sending it out on our emails and we did have it in our calendar, we just weren't pushing it very hard until we found out, confirmed that he was coming. So he will be here for lunch on the 27th at Falcon Lakes, talking about all of our partnerships in the county with economic development. So we would love it if any of you want to come.
And what's one thing you would like to see the city and the chamber partner on?
So we would love to be more involved in tourism. We'd love to have a spot on the tourism committee. We would love to help out more and have a voice with like the business symposium, the Camp Leavenworth. We would love to be involved in that stuff because the businesses talk to us. We have our ears to the ground on a lot of those things, and so we hear and actually we've had a lot of the heat that I took the first year was businesses saying, well, you don't do this, you don't do that, you don't do that, you don't do that, and they compare us to Weston all the time. And I have to explain to them, it's different. Weston was originally an economic development group that then got tourism money and then turned into a chamber of commerce because, you can read all about it, the history of it on its website, because of they wanted the name of the Chamber of Commerce and the resources that come with it. But they have that economic development base and the tourism money. We don't have any of that. We house the tourism department in our chamber for, 70, 80 years. We funded the Carousel Museum getting here. I don't think it says anything about that in about the chamber in there, but the chamber, we found a newspaper ad where we took out a $20,000 loan on our building and donated $20,000 to get that Carousel Museum here.
Yes.
And I didn't know, we just found it because we've got so much history.
Yeah.
History in our file cabinets. So we just found a newspaper write-up that said the chamber ponies up for the Carousel Museum. And so we thought, we should do something with that. But the chamber was at one time, I think, a very respected, they did so many things. They gave out grants and loans, and they did a lot of wonderful things. And there's history that comes with it that's very deep-rooted in our community. And I think we would love to get back to that. I know we would love to get back to that. I just think there was a time when we weren't doing what we should have been doing. So we would like to have a voice in that again and be part of that again.
Cool.
That'd be good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you. Appreciate everything shared.
Yeah.
Good headline, Rich Meyer.
Yep, thanks so
Do you have
much.
any questions? Okay, well, we're gonna miss you. Well, I won't miss you too much, because I'll see you hopefully more, but it'll be a lot of
Thank you
stuff.
so much, appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we'll move over to item 4, the semi-annual report for Convention and Visitors Bureau. Kristen?
Commissioners,
Good evening.
to see you. If it's the one you sent me, Christy, it's on the desktop.
Oh, it is? Oh, okay. I guess that's where
All right.
Thank you.
Hydraulics.
That must be my chair.
That one? That should be the top one.
All right. Thank you.
All right, good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Okay, this is the 2023 year in review, and then a few updates for the year 2024. So the Kansas tourism and that, I usually always try and kind of give an update on national and Kansas and then our own. I kind of deleted the national and that and just decided to go with tourism. So there's a lot of numbers there, but basically, in a nutshell, Kansas tourism, there was 33.7 million total visitors to the state. 11.2 billion total economic impact, 7 billion direct visitor spending, 700 million tax revenues for the state and local governments, 84,400 total jobs supported by tourism, and then 3.1 billion total generated labor income. The current 2025 budget for the State Office of Tourism is going to be about 4.879 million. So we're still, I think, like 40th or something out of the 50-some states and that. So we're still trying to work on getting them a little bit more funding in that in the future, but currently it's ticking up slowly. So also wanted to mention that the Kansas Tourism now is in charge. This is the first year that they took over the Sunflower Summers program. I don't know if any of you are familiar with it, but it's been run through the Department of Education for the last 3 years. And basically, it's a benefit for Kansas families with school-aged children to encourage them to explore and fall in love with Kansas. It's designed to give affordable access to tourism attractions across the state, and then also support the Kansas tourism economy. Basically, a family can go to some of the attractions across the state for free. They get a ticket, they download a ticket from an app, and then the app, this Kansas State Tourism will reimburse that attraction for that family visiting them. The summer season, it's going to run from May 25th through Sunday, August 11th. And I'm excited to say that we have C.W. Parker Carousel and the First City Museum have applied to be part of this program this year. The Kansas State Tourism, they're trying to get over 200 attractions included in this program this year. So like just for reference, when the Kansas Education Department ran it, there was only about 98 attractions. So tourism has more than doubled it. So, and we're including ours too in there. We should hopefully hear back shortly whether their applications were approved or that, but I think they will be. So anyway, we're excited to have 2 of our locals involved in that. Just a couple other updates from the state. They continue to earn a lot of marketing awards for their the Kansas Visitor Guidebook and then the Kansas Magazine. Just wanted to include that kind of in the report, that they are really doing a great job with the money that they are receiving. So just some other updates. Of course, I'm sure you're all aware of the earmarked statewide airport improvement project that's going on. And then they have named...
Christy, are you gonna?
Oh, should I advance that for you?
Yeah, I wasn't
That's
sure
my
quite where you were at.
Okay,
Okay,
there we go.
all right, thank you.
I'm reading off of one and ignoring the other. So, yes, the Governor Laura Kelly named a new assistant director. He's was the assistant director at the Missouri Department of Conservation and he has been named to replace Brad Lovelace, who is retired in April. And then his name is Chris Kennedy, and he will be the new Wildlife Secretary of Parks and Wildlife. So. All right, then some of Leavenworth stats for year end. We had approximately 174,182 unique visitors. These numbers are coming from our Data5 program that we have used for a couple of years now. The macro numbers I feel pretty comfortable with. It's when we start doing the micro numbers that get a little wonky maybe here and there. But the macro numbers, I think they are pretty accurate. Top age group, 45 to 64. Top income level, 0 to 49,000. About 3 to 5 people per household. Top education is high school level education. And then ethnicity is white by 86% as far as the people visiting Leavenworth from 50 miles and out. Some of the top markets, Manhattan, 33,800 people from Manhattan. Wichita, St. Louis, Chicago, Omaha, Springfield, Paola, you can kind of go on down the list, and the program can go out a lot farther than this, but this was just to give you an idea of where our top markets are coming from. Some other stats, the day trippers are about 41.6%, and they are averaging about a 2.6 stay, but 2 days then are at 12.4%. You can see some of the other stats there. What's advanced? Sorry.
Sorry.
Some of the states then that we're seeing some of this people coming in from, Nebraska's about 4%. Oklahoma's about 4%, Texas is at about 9% visitation, Missouri's at 20%, Iowa's 3%, Illinois is at 4%. So just kind of, again, gives you an idea of where some of our people are coming from. Some of the cluster visitations they are visiting the downtown area, they're visiting our lodging, our attractions, and our meeting venues. So they are visiting our whole city. And that's some of and then if you break out some of the points of visitation on this, again, the downtown area, University of St. Mary, our hoteliers are seeing stays. It does show the Leavenworth National Cemetery, but that's kind of what I've explained before in the past. That with the Chapel of Veterans, I believe, is just our VA administration building up there. It does bring in a lot of people every year. Mm-hmm. So. And some of the other ones you can see, hotels again, Leavenworth Landing area, and then our golf course, which I assume that's going to kind of drop off in the future. So our occupancy, average our ADR revenue in that, our occupancy looks really good. We're at 63.9%, and that's pretty well. So if you compare it with the state's occupancy, for 2023, they were at 45.6, so we're well above of the states and that, so yes, going in the right direction for sure. Our average daily rate for 2023 was $117.29, which is great. I mean, that's obviously from the previous years, you can see that we did take a major jump there in 2023. And again, compared to the state for 2023, the state's ADR was $91.08. So we are above the state there as well. Our revenue per available room, or RevPAR, for 2023 was $74.95, which is also a good number. The state was at 41.54. So total revenue was at about 10.8 million, which equates to about 92,000 or 93,000 rooms. And then local transient guest tax collected on that was for about 77.7 thousand rooms at 729,000 then for the year of 2023. So good numbers last year. The next slide kind of shows a diagram of the transient guest tax over the years. And then an average over there in the little blue box there, you can see that in 2023 we did have an increase of about 11.4% of transient guest tax. I've reached out to a couple people as far as that bump that you see up there on September through October through the end of the year, and that we're assuming at this point that it's really due to construction, maybe at the prison, some infrastructure that went on out there. I talked to the fort about it, and they kind of indicated they didn't really feel that it was more classes coming in or anything like that, so they kind of agreed that it was most likely construction, and that really did that bump right there. And then plus, I think the ADR did increase over that time, so I think they were able to, once it started bumping up like that, I think they are able to adjust their numbers a little bit and get a better ADR. So that all combined together kind of gave it a better outcome at the end of the year there. So some Leavenworth stats then. Our visitor guidebook, we distributed over 13,000 visitor guidebooks in 2023. And then just an idea of where all we distribute them at. We placed over 26 print ads with a distribution of over 3.4 million publications. We are running 6 digital banners with the State Office of Tourism, and then we also are doing a search engine marketing campaign with Madden Media. And then we did a native ad, I think I spoke about that last time, a native ad campaign that did really well. So we'll probably reach out to them to try and do something like that again for this year. But group tourism meetings, we hosted 13 group tours last year and 3 meetings for a total of about 543 people in attendance with a direct spend of $12,806. The direct spend is what we actually write down, like they went to this attraction, it was $4 per person. They went to this attraction, it was $10 per person. Or they ate at the Riverfront Community Center. So that's direct spend that we actually incurred or wrote down with their trips when they visited us. And then we always use like a day trip spend for locally here is about $149 per person. So average that out just to kind of give you a quick idea of those numbers. Our events e-newsletter seems to be doing really well. We are over 1,800 subscribers, and then we are currently averaging an open rate of over 29%, which is pretty good. Our website stats, unfortunately, were a little pooey or gooey this year. I mean, the G4 updates, Google was doing a G4 updates with their analytics and that, and it kind of messed with our, did you have that?
No,
as well?
but that's not uncommon, so, yeah.
So anyway, we're still working through that, but hopefully we've got it straightened out, and so going forward, hopefully our numbers will straighten out, and we'll see those page views and unique go up again. But yeah, so those are not real accurate as far as that. Referrals, I think, are still, obviously we did get most of our referrals from the State Office of Tourism because we are running those 6 digital banner ads and that, so that really does help. And then of course the city's website and the county's website. Social media continues to increase in that, so we're at about a 3% increase over last year at the same time. So just a couple of other quick updates here. We've got 2 travel writers that will be visiting us soon. Bill on the Road will be here in May, and Vanessa Whiteside will be here in June. Vanessa's through a tourism co-op plan with our Northeast region and that, so we're kind of excited about hosting both of them. Bill will be here overnight, and Vanessa will be here overnight as well. So we'll be we have a whole itinerary plan for them and that, so it should be really good. We had an open position. Our part-time person that we had decided to go up to the planning and zoning office and accept a full-time position. So our part-time position was open, and I'm happy to say that we've hired Lynette Carter. She started on April 4th, and I think will be a good addition to our office in that. She was working part-time at the Sheriff's Department. So some more of our co-op marketing plans. We do an AutoCAD with Kansas City Regional Destination and Alliance. We've got 6 different apps running. Now, one app, 6 different programs to choose from on that app. It's called AutoCast, and we're going to be adding another one here shortly that's called Kansas City Outdoors. I think there's 13 members of us of the KCRDA, and then basically when you come on that, each location gets to pick a location. So I know we've got a history trip, we've got a kids trip, a coffee trip, a sweets trip, a quirky trip, and then the Kansas City Outdoors is our newest one. So we'll get that up and running here shortly. So we had over 191 click-throughs to our locations on that app for last year. So that's pretty good considering most of the other are all located in the Kansas City region. So that does kind of, they are still coming to Leavenworth through this app, so which is good.
Cool.
We're also this weekend on Saturday, we're working with the I-70 Association, which we're a member of. And 785 Productions out of Lawrence is going around to all of the members of the I-70 Association and doing some videos and photography in that of all the locations in that. And then we'll put it together in one large video. But I think each location will get the information that they put from the video and the photography over the weekend back to each location as well. So we'll receive that. But they will be visiting here Saturday from 1 to 5. So. Couple more updates. We are running a Be a Tourist in Your Own Backyard. We get a lot of people in the office, that are locals that are picking up maps or whatnot and say that, or just through conversation with them, say that they've not ever visited one of the museums or they've never done this and that. So we kind of put this together as a way to maybe encourage locals and residents alike to go out and kind of explore your own backyard. And then if they do check off all the boxes, basically we included all 5 of our museums and then 2 just like kind of freebies. You take a selfie at one of the murals or statues in town or something and get entered then into win a kind of a weekend, a hotel stay with breakfast, lunch, and dinner. So hopefully, and then if you do complete it, and turn it in, you can get some swag or something when you turn it in and then get entered in to win the prize. So hopefully we'll encourage some. We're gonna run a Facebook campaign on that pretty shortly here and try and get it out there a little bit more. Our stakeholders newsletter is currently being emailed out to 126 subscribers locally in that. So, and we have an open rate of 58% on that. So if any of you would like to be included in that, please let me know and we'll add you. We do have our 2024 Visitors Guidebook that's out now that we've been delivering, and we've got over 7,000 that we've already delivered for this year. So that's going pretty well. Omi Hachimen, Japan will be here. We just found out July 20th and 21st. So we will start. We had our first Sister City meeting last Friday and are working on the itinerary for our Wagga Wagga, who is coming back this year again. So we're excited to be hosting them. They'll be here June 19th through the 25th.
Were they here last year? Or was it
They were here last year.
Okay,
No, they were here last year as well. So that's kind of interesting for us as well, in that we were very happy to host them though. So, but yeah, they chose to come back here. I think they had such a good time last year. They just had a wonderful time. So, and there's actually 4 of them this year that will be coming, 2 delegates and then 2. One of the past delegates, she was actually a delegate in 1991, and I believe came to Leavenworth. So it's her and her husband that are chaperoning, so to speak, the 2 other delegates.
So are you ready for the 4? Because I know you all were running like for 2-3
I know,
just the 2.
Right? Yeah, it's going to be a busy time for sure, because a few people are going to be out and won't be available to help. So we're going to be kind of.
Well, that's cool. I might have met her when I was in Wagga.
You may have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was saying, did you ever go to
what it is.
Wagga? You've been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At one point, pre-recession, now I'm not talking about pre-pandemic, I'm talking pre-recession, the city did have a regular schedule. It wasn't every year or even every other year, maybe every 4th year or something.
Mm-hmm.
We would send to one of the 2 because they do have a pretty regular schedule of coming here. So that's something to think about when you get into budgeting time about, if it's time to do that again.
Yeah, they had a big, it was an anniversary that I went to, their 50th anniversary, I can't remember now, that I went to when I was mayor. So that was really a nice visit.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, they're
very
wonderful
good people.
Yeah, they are. Just a couple other updates we do. Obviously, we have the 2 grant sessions, one on February 1st and the other August 1st. So the February round, Richard Allen Cultural Center received $4,000. The Leavenworth County Historical Society, $4,000. Heritage Center, $2,500. Santa Fe Bike Shop, $4,000 for the gravel grinder, $1,500 for the film festival, and $4,000 for Main Street advertising. And these below that are some group tours and meetings that we have coming up. actually that April 24th should be over there, so sorry that date is wrong on the Kansas Supreme Court will be here for breakfast. They'll be in Lansing the night before, and then here on April 24th in the morning for a breakfast at the Riverfront Community Center. Smith Travel Tours, Johnson County Travel Cat, Smoky Hills Trails Association, and that. So a few of them coming up, and the trade shows over to the side. We were just attended Pear Day last weekend. The morning, it was just crazy. I mean, there was just, April is the military month for the children and that, and so they really have geared the April Pear Day towards children and that, and it was so busy in the morning and that. It slowed down in the afternoon a little bit, but it was a good time. I think we handed out about 100 or so visitor guidebooks and a ton of things to the kids, so it was a good day. And then just some of the other conferences that we have coming up. And then calendar of events. Again, if you're looking for a calendar of events or things to do, please check out our website, and that we try and do a really good job about keeping up with all the events in the community and that. And with that, if anyone has any questions or that, I'd be happy to answer them.
These conferences, we get bookings off these conferences, do you think you
Yes.
find them?
Yeah, we do, like even the one like the Military Reunion Network Conference that I'll be going to in Virginia this year. Last year it was in New York, and we got one military reunion off of it. So yes, so, and that's the hopes with all of them really. Anytime you go to like a small market meetings, the let's see, the Select Travel Conference. Actually, I wasn't able to go to that one because the plane didn't leave on time, so anyway. But yes, that's what you do. You meet with planners one-on-one. Usually it's kind of like a speed dating thing, and you get like 6 minutes usually with each planner, and you can hand them a profile sheet, and you visit about the tributes and that of coming to Leavenworth and that. So, and then when you get back, you follow up with all of them again. And that you just kind of, you add them to your database. We send out profile sheets all year long, quarterly to them, trying to encourage them to come to Leavenworth.
So Christy, if you could wave a wand and add anything into your area of expertise, anything you could do to impact everything you do day in and day out, what would that look like?
I mean, it's always fun, more money, I mean, advertising, it's expensive to advertise. I mean, so that's just, it's always a fighting battle to try and get the most bang for your buck and that. So I guess if I had a magic wand, I would wish for $1 million to market.
So can I ask real quick, you mentioned Google earlier, do you have anybody that's like always working on AdWords and different things like that?
Yes, we do. That's our search engine marketing campaign. We have Madden Media hired for that right now, and they do a whole Google AdWord campaign.
Okay, and you feel like it's been, pretty effective compared to
Yes,
others
I
out
do.
there? Or?
Yeah, we just changed to Madden Media last year, and I think that the response has been better, or we're seeing a better return through Madden Media than we did with our prior one that we had.
Okay.
But yes, we've always tried to do a Google ad campaign every year.
Okay.
We
Okay.
keep that going.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, thank you. I appreciate all the information,
Thank you.
for sure.
Thank you.
All right.
All right, well, that will wrap it up for tonight. We'll go around the horn here. Mr. Kramer, any,
No, nothing's on it.
Spray cleaner?
It's,
Melissa, we clean up April 20th. Yeah.
Saturday.
Oh, there's
Talk about it.
I was gonna walk into the room, but sure. Yeah, Saturday 20th, we're excited about it, so we'd love to have all of you there, 8:30 a.m. We'll have tons of donuts, coffee, juice,
yeah,
And we've got
perfect.
800 people so far, but I think I'm counting a few
that's
more.
good.
That's great.
People I always get an impressive response from that. It's great. So, looking
No,
forward
that's
to it.
cool. Awesome, thanks, Melissa. Ed?
well, summer's going on. The weather is just telling me that summer is here now, and I'm kind of glad of that. But it gets people outside, outdoors, and I really like that. I like seeing people outdoors. So it'll be great to see them come into some of these places that Christy was telling us about, some of the events that people were telling us about. They won't have to worry about standing there shivering, kind
Yep.
of thing like they do sometimes. So
Cool.
that's about all I've got.
All right.
Well, I just want to report to you guys, because I know you're dying to know, that the meat raffle was a complete, was a complete success this weekend, so that's good.
I
And
wish I
then-
could have gone to that, that looked like fun.
It was fun.
What did you win?
I actually won some burgers and hot dogs, but they're like gourmet burgers, like they're made with prime rib, like in the meat, so they were.
Ooh,
they-
that sounds
they were-
good.
Yeah, they were really delicious.
Didn't
They,
have dinner yet.
The Suburban provided all the meat, so it was fun. But this weekend, the Richard Allen Cultural Center and Museum is having a fundraiser. It's the Motown Review. So put on your 60s and 70s gear and head to Sunflower Baptist. And it's a dinner and dance from 6 to 9, and tickets are still available if interested. So that's where I'll be in my 70s gear this weekend.
All right.
Me too, I was gonna say the same thing, I'll be there at Motown and looking forward to, and just reminder that the recycle, well, as part of the cleanup, they also have shredding of documents and also recycle, you know, to take stuff at the recycling center and other stuff, that's all I have.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to say, man, we've been experiencing some heavy winds, so citizens, if you see trash cans in the middle of the street, please just take 10 seconds, stop, pull them out to the person's yard, just so no one hits them. Other than that, God bless, be safe, and have a great weekend.
Cool deal. And to that, we'll see everybody on Saturday, 8:30 a.m.
Awesome.
All right. Meeting's adjourned.